All right. Welcome, family. Welcome back to another episode of Mosaic Entertainment Group presents episode number 12. So we getting through this thing, man. And it's COVID time. It doesn't hold us back. The creativity keeps flowing and it keeps going. As you can see, I have my Pan-African flag in the back. You know what I mean? So even though, we discuss art and we discuss filmmaking and creativity, we all have to remember, family, we got to keep it black. That's what this is about. All right. So it's Mosaic Entertainment Group for a reason. So do your research. All right, family. So welcome back, like I said again, to another episode. Today's guest, family, I have my brother from another mother, all the way from the ATL. All right. All the way from the ATL. So we're no longer going to keep it Arizona. No, we are a global family. So we're going to expand this. All right. So this is the first episode, actually, brother, that you're on where I'm expanding my brand and I'm expanding my audience reach and introducing you, brother, out of ATL to my Southwestern audience here in Arizona, Southern California, Texas, you know what I mean? And so introduce yourself, my brother. Let us introduce yourself to my audience and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Oh, Mr. Joe Jennings. Sorry about that, family. Mr. Joe Jennings Jr. Mr. Joe Jennings Jr.
Mr. Joe Jennings Jr.
Excellent independent filmmaker out of Atlanta, Georgia. All right, my brother, take it away.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me, first of all. I just want to say I'm honored to be here. And, we've been trying to do this for a while, so we finally got it done. And just to say more about myself, I'm an independent filmmaker from Atlanta, Georgia, born and raised. And I have 2 films out right now that are doing the short film circuit. I've won 13 awards globally. And we've been accepted over 40 film festivals. I'm working on my 3rd film now. It's called ISFJ. It should be out soon. We're still doing a little post on it. But yeah, that's it, man. Just a short film director, writer. And I'm here, man. Absolutely. I'm here working.
Absolutely. That's what it's about, man. We got to keep it going. So with your 3 films, man. So let me ask you this. Independent filmmaker out of Atlanta, Georgia. We understand that Atlanta is like it's like the mecca of everything as far as Hollywood now. It was for a point, music in the early 90s, kind of mid to late 90s. You heard this noise out of Atlanta, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it kind of quieted down for a bit, and then it exploded in the 2000s, around 2008 till now, really. Hollywood thing, man. So were you around at that time? Like what was the energy like when all of this stuff, all of this creativity just started happening in the city, man?
So I moved away in 2005. And when I moved away, I moved to LA to pursue screenwriting. And so at that time, the city was just kind of getting its feet wet with film. Like I think Tyler Perry was shooting like Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And that was like, we've had productions here, big productions here, off and on, but that was like the one that, kind of started the movement here. Like Tyler Perry pretty much brought film to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And that was the first film he did here. And I was out in LA doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? But Atlanta was still kind of revving up film wise. But before I left, Atlanta was a music town, everything music, I mean, I all the artists, but it really didn't start doing film until like mid 2000s, but I had already left. And so once I got to LA, I was working on like major, productions. So You Think You Could Dance. I worked on Def Comedy Jam. I worked on a couple of network TV shows, California, this show called Jericho. I worked on a lot of big shows. I got lucky. And, my first, and then that just kind of took off, you know what I'm saying? So I got my feet wet in LA, honestly. And that's where I learned most of my film stuff. And I got my experience there. Partner, Sean Freeland, who's actually still in LA, we actually New Year's Rockin' Eve show as PAs. And we both wanted to write. And so we started a writing group like you did. And we just kind of put our heads together and we had to make sure we could write, you know what I'm saying? And we created some great stuff separately and together. And, you know, we would kind of swing for the fence at the agencies and all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it didn't work out that way, but great. And the actors were great and everything. The only thing was the medium we shot it on kind of like outdated because DV was what we shot it on, but you know, high def was coming in at the time.
Right.
So that kind of blocked us from getting like distribution, that kind of thing. But it was a learning curve, to say the least. And so, you know, after years of kind of hustling ourselves and trying to get independent stuff going, it just didn't work out. And, you know, I came back home, but in hindsight, it was the best thing that ever happened to me because, you know, if you're an independent filmmaker, you could get away with so much more in Atlanta than you could in LA. You know, I mean, I could go shoot a project on the corner right now without a permit, and the Atlanta police will just ride by me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
versus in LA, you know, they shutting everything down if you ain't got no permit. You know, stuff like that. And, you know, I met a lot of great talent here that I didn't know existed. A lot of hungry young actors from not just from Atlanta, from everywhere, that wanted an opportunity. They wanted to kind of, you know, get out there and do something, you know, solid. And we lucked up, you know, I'm not lucked up, but we auditioned and, you know, eventually got the right people for the projects. And that's kind of how it started. So, you know, and then after a while, you kind of, you know, when you're in the Atlanta community, the film community, you kind of see the same people all the time and you kind of get to know who's who and people recognize you like, oh, we saw this, we saw that. And so that's kind of how it worked out for me, you know what I'm saying? But it's the beautiful struggle, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So what year was that? Because you froze up a little bit. You may have mentioned when you actually got started. So
Oh
around
yeah,
what time
so
was that?
so I moved back in 2014.
Yeah, we missed that part because you froze. Okay, 2014.
Yeah, I moved back in 2014 and then I started my first film, A Leg Up, my first short film.
That's the one we saw.
And I did that, and then I did my second film, Change, right after that.
Mm-hmm.
So we did like two films in 2018, both of which were at the Soul West Fest where I met you at, right? And we did those back to back, and just kind of, you know, marketed those, you know, together.
Right.
And my third film we shot last year. We're just getting around to getting it done, but hopefully it'll be out soon.
Yeah, this COVID thing has messed a lot of things up too. So let's talk about that. Let's backtrack a little bit and talk about how we met. So, audience, my group, Black Phoenicians Writers Group, we actually had our first film project, not Missing Pieces. That's the second one. Man, I can't remember the name of it. It's been so much going on. But our first film project was actually in the Soul West Film Festival, and out here in Arizona. And not only in Arizona, it was supposed to be in Phoenix, but it was moved out to a city near Sedona, okay,
Yeah,
which was about an hour and a half outside of the city. Castle Cliff, I think Hotel was the name of it. So that's where the festival was being held. And you guys flew all the way out from Atlanta. It was like you and a group of people flew out from Atlanta, right? Or was it you by yourself, or were you with
it
that?
would be by myself. I didn't meet those people until we got here,
You actually got
but
there. Okay, so you all
yeah.
together. Okay, so
But I think your film was called Him Too, right? Was your film
him too,
called Him
him
Too?
too, him too. That was it. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
I should be ashamed of myself. I wrote
No, man. It's
that. You know, we wrote
hey, I
that
done it too,
together.
bro.
Man, I'm
When
like,
you work as hard as you working, man, you can't remember everything that's going on.
I'm working on something right now for a client, man, that's got me, wow. So that's how we met. And, you know, just like minds, like energy, you know what I'm saying? And respect for the art, man. And I said, man, there's something about this brother that's very sincere. So eventually we was going to cross paths, and we're going to keep crossing paths until we're actually able to get some projects out and going, man. But I wanted to make sure I have you on this show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Introduce you to my audience because, hey, real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? You're
appreciate
not
that.
just talking about it, you're doing about it. I see your poster in the background, change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's good. You know, that's good advertisement for your project. I see you. I see you on that, my brother. So definitely, man. So, you know, hey, that it was just a natural thing. It was just a natural.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so let me ask you this, man. With what what is it about this medium of independent filmmaking that inspires you? I know for me, it's just the ability to, as I matured in my storytelling, you get more focused on, what you want to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, um, I've kind of evolved into finding a way to deliver a message. You know what I'm saying? In whatever I write and whatever I produce. Even with him too. Even though we kind of put it together as a group, there was a message in that. You know what I mean? That sexual
Right.
misconduct happens on both sides of the scale. You know what I mean? It happens. Women do it and men do it. You know what I mean? So we addressed a particular sensitive topic, but I like to go deeper into, just for me, always telling a story of what is. So right now we don't have many black banks, or we don't have many black owned institutions to what could, to
Right.
what will be. In my projects, we have black owned banks. We have, it's normal for us to have, a black owned grocery store. It's normal to have, you know, several branches and of banks where it's run by black people. In my stories, it's so I'm finding a way to rewrite the narrative. I feel it's my mission to do that. So what is it about the art for you that motivates you?
So for me, because I'm actually a screenwriter, I didn't make films until I made these, and the reason I made the film is because I understand how powerful the medium is. Reading a script is somewhat powerful, but to see those images on a screen is very, very powerful. That's why television and film are so influential, and people listen to movie stars before they listen to politicians. But
Right,
um, with the same content that your films are about are mine. Like a leg up is about a father telling his son who's about to be 18 and going out into the world, that financial, fiscal responsibility is the most important thing, you know, and having money and blowing it on frivolous things is an unwise investment. And he's just trying to explain to him how the United States works and how it works for black men, and that the thing that African Americans don't have that we need the most is wealth and community. You know what I'm saying? We lost our community. The black family has been, for the most part, not in every case, but the black family has been torn apart.
right.
Communities we don't invest in our own communities, you know. Um, but those are the things that have to happen before we're like, liberated, so to speak, and though that's what he's explaining to his son in just a normal conversation. And he thinks his dad is just talking to him, and then he sends him out to go make a run, and he gives him all his money, and he says, look, I'm not sending you on a run, I'm giving you this money to invest in yourself. Just don't do anything stupid like start a business or go to school or both or whatever. Just be mindful of everything I taught you. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those conversations that sometimes we have with our kids, or we have with our friends, or our peers, or our uncles or dads had with us. But, just to see it on the screen and then to see him give him this bag of money, I think is more influential than, five guys in a lobby talking about it. So from the feedback that I've received, it's been perceived as powerful, you know what I'm saying? And that's it's important, you understand as a storyteller, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why I moved from just the screenwriting medium to making a film. Film has unlimited power, man. You just have to know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. That's a good point because I think I'm glad you brought that up, man. That's a good point because as much as I've desired to actually see the images I put on paper,
Yeah,
is a passion with me about actually putting it on paper, like actually being able to take these worlds, you know what I'm saying, and collide them in such a way and create this kind of melody out of these characters and this story and what these people are struggling with outside of the normal kind of hero's journey, in the
yeah,
screenwriting and kind of, the typical way that screenwriting is structured. I like to kind of almost make it flow in a fluid kind of manner. So you get more story than anything else. And I think that's something that that's something I enjoy. I don't know if
right,
how well
yeah,
that translates because I did shoot my pilot last year, but because of COVID,
Okay.
two of my actors dropped out, and all these changes started happening. So I still have like 4 scenes to shoot. So it's the filmmaker thing. So I'm working on getting that back going, so at least people can see this particular project that I wrote called Learning to Run, which is almost that's why me and you connect, man, because we're on that same wavelength. My
Yeah.
story, as far as a leg up, it's a father-son story, what I'm saying, dropping some wisdom on the son, say, hey, and it's universal as well, but I like the
Yeah.
connection between the father and the son. You know what I mean? Because I never grew up with my dad, I always yearn for that dynamic. So
Yeah.
the stories I create are that. So Learning to Run is about that, a dad who was there but wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? And how did this young man cope with a dad at one point who was there and lost sight of himself as a father and as a
Yeah.
man and as a person completely, how that affected his son, you know what I'm saying? And what did that
Right.
do to his son? And now there's a time where you're trying to repair this once the father gets himself together and figure things out. The son is grown and is on his way in his life. So you can't influence in the same way when he's 9 that you can when he's 30. You know what I mean? It's a total
Right.
different dynamic at that point. So how do they establish a relationship there? So you see, I kind of go into that. And this particular project is something I've had in on the pot, man, since like 1998, bro. So
Wow.
yeah, and it's taken many forms, from a sitcom, 3-act camera format, because that's where I came from as an actor, and then to a short film, back to a story, and then it became the single lens kind of story, but it was half
Yeah.
an hour time. So I kind of molded it into something, man, where now it perfectly fits this medium for today. And as a
Right.
storyteller, man, that's something I look at. So that's why we link, because that I see where you're coming from. So describe. You said Change is your second film, or Change is your
Yes.
okay?
It's
So
my second film.
tell us
Yeah.
about Change, because I know that's out there on the circuit as well, right?
Yeah. Like so. Change is it's a story about a mother and her daughter late night at a laundromat, and they're having a conversation. And so basically, the daughter's questioning her public school system, like, hey, why don't we learn any useful resources in school? Like, we learned like about all these people that we're not going to care about in 2 or 3 years, and we learned the basic um, tools of survival. But why don't we learn how to be anything significant?
Mm.
Where is that class? And a mom really can't answer, so she's kind of like pacifying her along the way. And basically, it's about this young girl who wants something more than what she's getting. And she's questioning, like, well, why is the society providing more for people like me? I have a 3.8 GPA, that, and a mom can't answer. There's no real answer. And so it's one of those thought-provoking things. I kind of like when I was in school and I was young and I was on the brink of graduation and I didn't know what I was doing in my life. And the things I thought I wanted to do, I didn't know how to, find the outlet to get to those things. Uh, hence filmmaking. So it was like nobody could answer the question, because in our society just kind of it pushes us out on a assembly line. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
So you don't really learn. You learn how to survive. You don't learn how to thrive. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the film is about, basically. And it's very, very short. So it's just kind of one of those, like, those one hitter kind of things. And
But it's
just dialogue,
yeah,
man. People talking, trying to figure it out. And I just wanted to, kind of share that with people, because I feel like a lot of people have those thoughts. And, especially at that age, 17, 18, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes 16, people want to know what their life is like, or what is it going to be like? Should they dare pursue their dreams? Should they even have dreams in the first place? And it's crazy, because a lot of people we went to school with, they they didn't do anything, and it's not necessarily their fault. You know
no,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
So it's that whole dialogue.
Wow.
And you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of want to put that out there, because I'm the type of person, I ask questions that people can't answer all the time. So when you put that on a film,
Mhm.
you want the whole audience talking about it. Like, yo, why is that? Or why is it that? That's what you want, you know? Like
Yes.
I want people I want the dialogue to continue at the restaurant or the cafe that everybody goes to after they see the film. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Let's
Yes.
talk about it. Let's figure it out.
Yes. That's a sign of good filmmaking. That's a sign of good screenwriting as well.
Yeah.
You
Like let's talk about it. Let's put a solution together.
Yes.
So that was what change was essentially about.
Awesome, man. I like that, man. That's so powerful, brother. You have no idea, I mean, what how much power it is because you writing what you know,
Right.
you what you've experienced, so it translates so much more powerfully over to the audience. So you can't help but come out of there affected. So
Yeah.
because people could say people like me who have my son is 21,
Yeah.
my daughter who's 19, and a son who's 17, who's going to be 18 next month, and they're trying
Right.
to figure they're right at that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
My 21-year-old just made his mind up, you know what I'm saying, of what he's going to do and just completed, his freshman year in college, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
as a 21-year-old, when a lot of them are already graduating and, moving on. So it took him that amount of time frame. And
Yeah.
as a parent, I had to give him that, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't being unproductive because he worked, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
within that time frame. And he would take classes here and there while he was trying to figure it out, but he was being productive. So we had
Right.
to give him that space. So I think that's for me, I would go away with that from a film like Change and go have that conversation with either my wife or my buddies who are in the same predicament, so to speak, and say, hey, what will we tell our children? Like,
Right. Right.
I wouldn't. And honestly, as a parent, I could give him my experience as what I was at thinking and going through at that age. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I will be preaching to the choir. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because
But at the same time, like your kids, they have a father who's open minded, who's actually, you're not like you need to just go to school, get a job. That's you're not that father. So you kind of have that mentality where I'm sure your sons can come talk to you about anything.
right, just about.
So you have that relationship with, and then you're older, but you're still kind of hip. You know what I'm saying? So you like big brother slash dad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a
Right.
different relationship. It's a different dynamic. So my parents were like 40. They were like 40 years older than me. My dad passed away. He was in his 70s. Uh, so they were like my grandparents raising me essentially. So they kind of had those clamps, and I had to kind of fight that growing up. Like even now to this day, hey, I won this award. Hey, I did this. They just like, oh, okay. You know, well,
Right.
how's your day job going? So
Yeah.
you know that that's their dialect. Their dialogue with me. So that's cool that they have you for that. That's the kind of dad I want to be eventually. You know what I'm saying?
It's one of those things where I'm glad I was born in the generation I was born in because
Yeah.
I'm part of that generation X hip hop generation where we still kind of had that respect for our parents who were of the civil rights generation. You know what I'm saying? We're
Right.
the children of the civil rights generation, so
Right.
we still latched on to some of those values, but
Yeah.
we forged our own kind of way, and we saw what our parents went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where your your grandparents grew up in that time where they had that kind of mind state where it was stability, it was comfort, it was
Right.
you don't want to rock the boat. You just want to be
Right.
to where you're comfortable, but it's like I'm like hell with comfort. You know what I'm saying? You can't be comfortable in a place that denigrates you. You just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
it was a different time, and I don't fault our grandparents at all for that, man. I really don't, because they did the best they could to survive in the system.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
there's no, some people even in my generation be like, man, but look, if you was in those days, what would you have done? You know what I mean?
You
If
had to do what you had to do.
you had to do what you had to do, and if you develop a mind state after that, and it just takes time to work out of it. You know what I mean? And even
Yeah.
kids consider me old, in a lot of ways, because they're like, man, we can't do it that way, and they're a
Yeah.
lot more. Why can't this happen right now? You know, that's why you see
Right.
the people in the streets, right? How was it in Atlanta? You know, in that regards, where was it? I know it was going down out there. You know, as far as the
With the
protest
protest and stuff.
and everything. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I mean we had one point where like downtown, like with Centennial Park and all of that, CNN Center, it got really, really hectic. And Killer Mike and T.I. and the mayor, the police chief at one point, they all got on the news. It was like, trying to calm people down. And then, there was an incident where the Wendy's got burnt down.
Right.
Uh, it got crazy for a minute. It happened. It lasted for a couple of weeks. People just kind of out in the streets like mad, bro. Um,
Yeah, I was
so
wondering.
yeah, it got crazy. It got crazy. So
Can you
yeah.
see can you see yourself incorporating that into your filmmaking?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. I'll never shy away from anything black or anything that especially. I mean, that's very important stuff. I mean, that's the stuff 50 years from now they're going to be talking about, like how they talk about the civil rights era now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, bro,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think that's important to chronicle that as artists because, like you said, 50 years, just like we're doing 50 years from the civil
Yeah,
rights now, 50 years from now, you know, if even one of us is lucky enough to still be alive to say, I was there, um,
yeah,
they will have a story to look back on and say, man, in the teens and the 20s, it was going down. You know, it was
yeah,
this was happening. And then they have the films as a reference, like we have the films from those days uh, as footage and stuff like that as reference too. So
right.
we can provide even a more clearer picture, man, because so many stories come out of that. Like the family that was in the line at the Wendy's when Rashard Brooks was shot in the back.
Yeah,
It was a family visiting from Tennessee or something like that, man, and they was just in the line. You know what I mean? And a bullet went through the back of their truck, you know, from the cops that shot. So that's a story. That's a
right,
story. Where they from? You know, what was their life about? Where did they
right.
come from? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just get caught up in this type of thing, man. So imagine,
Yeah,
and they have an attorney, and they seeking regress out of this. So that's a story, you know what I'm saying? And that's something that
definitely,
can be told and chronicled, man. And I want to hold on to that and be able to do
absolutely.
that, bro. Really, man, really. And our sister stories as well, man, because they have a story to tell as well, man. So, with that said, man, not even to shift the convo. I like where this convo is going because it's showing the like mindedness. Now, with your current film, your third film, you said you're in post with that right now. Are you able to talk about that right now, or are you able
Oh
to?
yeah, it's actually called, it's ISFJ. It's a romantic comedy. And it's kind of like, it's not as heavy as the first two films,
Mhm.
but it also deals with moral dilemma as well. So it's about uh, well, four friends are sitting around, and one friend discovers his friend's wife on social media while he's sitting there. So he has this moral dilemma of, should I tell, should I not? And it plays out. I'm not telling you how it plays out,
Okay.
but it plays out.
Okay. Okay.
And that actually is inspired by real life events. Something I wanted to do a romantic comedy just to kind of work on my versatility,
Mhm.
and what I'm saying, I wanted to do a featurette. I wanted to be long, and I kind of wanted to bring back some of the same actors that I used before. Like Phoenix Washington, who was in a leg up. He's in this film as well.
Okay.
And then another actor from Change. His name is Todd Daniel. He's in this film. So I brought a couple of familiar faces back, and I wanted to kind of tell this story. It's kind of like another, like I said, like one of those conversations at the end of the movie where everybody's debating. Like,
Mhm.
well, what would you do in this situation? What would you do in this situation? Would you tell? Would you not? That's kind of what it is, and it goes from comedy to drama real fast. But yeah, that's my new film.
He says a featurette, so that's what about an hour or so, hour and
No, I
uh,
mean, it's not really a feature. It's more like 20 minutes
20 minutes.
long.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, some other films are like between 4 and 10 minutes. This one's like double that.
Oh, okay. That's what you meant.
Yeah,
Okay.
but some festivals will consider that a featurette though. They don't want to, because it's a long short. You know what I'm saying? So
All right. All right. Those are the best ones to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just get a little more time with to dive into
Yeah.
stuff. So as a filmmaker, you direct as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you find that
Yeah.
experience as a as a writer, as a director, working with actors? So how do you find that experience?
Okay, so there's two things about my directing experiences that make it very easy.
Mm-hmm.
One is I've written the material, so I know how I want it to go in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And two is when you find very, very talented actors who get it right off the back, and then you guys rehearse, and they pretty much just carry you. Like
Mm-hmm.
like these actors are so talented. Like they don't. I mean, I don't even need to bring a script to set. Like I do, but they just kind of come to set and they just kill it. They have a feel for the actors. When they ad lib, it makes sense. They're professional. They're on time. They're just as passionate about the project as you are. I mean, it's everything you want an actor. And my first two films, I didn't pay my actors because obviously I couldn't pay them, but I paid the actors on my third film just to show respect, just trying to show more appreciation. Like, you guys are amazing. I love you guys.
Right.
And you come and you kill it. And that's what they did. They done that on all three of my projects. You know what I'm saying? So that they made my experience easy.
Right.
So,
I find as a director that's so valuable, man. If your actors come prepared, um,
yeah,
and you find the right ones, hey man, I'm a champion of using the same people. But if they're
yeah, absolutely.
hey, they're versatile enough to do it, and you can see, oh, you can play this role too in my next. Okay, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom. It makes it so easy, and it, man, when you said that, I was just like, oh man, he's just saying this is the same experience because there's like two or three actors that I use and I will continue to use in future projects because they just help me, and as a
yeah,
really, just like you kind of, for me as a director, I kind of just go from, because I wrote the material, yes, I know what it looks like, but I also give the actors space, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey,
yeah,
how would you interpret that? If you don't feel that line really fits, what would you say? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't take offense to you as a writer, as a creative, changing the line because you felt the character would say, so once I let them know that, hey man, I'm cool. I just need it to translate, what I'm saying, and translate
yeah.
well. And what I need you to do is not act. I need you to be, and that's
Right.
it. And that's how I do it, man. And I just let them, and if it makes sense, I let it roll. If it's too far left, cut. You got that wrong. Let's try this again. So I try to keep it as elementary as possible, when it comes to directing, my stuff. And I think I might want to do other people's things. Have you ever thought about maybe expanding and directing other people's work?
Yeah, man. I've been invited to direct another project, but because of the COVID thing, it's kind of been on hold. But I was actually looking forward to that. Um, but yeah, absolutely. Like I told you, I wanted to come work with you guys, uh, in any capacity. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I just want to be down, Jermaine. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I just want to be down, bro. I hold the light. I don't care. I'm very serious.
No, I
Very
feel like
serious.
you are.
My actress from Change, the Jamila Gray,
Mhm.
she actually made her directing debut at the beginning of this year, and we worked on her project, and I went and held, I was the boom operator on that. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I'm very serious. Like, if I'm coming out there, man, I'll be a PA. I'll be an assistant. I don't care. I just want to be down, man.
Hey, we
You
have
know.
the DP. How about that?
Hey, I don't know about that one. That's tough one.
Just hold the camera for us, man, because that's
Now,
all.
I don't know about that one, but
Just hold
like I said, like I'm willing. I mean, as long as I'm in a film environment and I'm working around positive, talented people, I'm for whatever, man. I'm serious, and that's kind of what I was telling you before. Like with the Black Phoenicians Writers Group, like I just think you guys are doing such an amazing thing, and I'm not from Phoenix, and I don't live in Phoenix, but I want to be down, and I'm serious about that. I mean, there's a lot of power in collaboration. You know what I'm saying? Like-minded, just like you said. And, like doing these festivals, and you travel and you meet other filmmakers, and you know, you kind of build yourself like an alliance, so
Yeah.
to speak, you know. But it's more than just, you know, meeting that person and you follow them on Instagram and you give them a like every now and then. It's like this dialogue we're happening right now, this is important. So that's kind of what, you know, what I'm attracted to, you know what I'm saying? Like building that network. You know, if you guys ever come to Atlanta and you need something, I got you. If I come to AZ, you know, you got me. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what it's about, man. You just have to be serious about it.
Absolutely. And that's the key. That's the
Right.
key. Being serious about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And my mind frame is building and making this an institution, you know what I'm saying? Not just, you know, just some people getting together just to shoot a film, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, there's passion and love involved, but I'm also thinking business. I'm also thinking this alliance right here can
Yeah.
lead to more alliances, can build power for us, you know what I'm saying, and can only lead to more projects, you know what I'm saying, and then more institution building, and then it just grows and it grows and it grows, man. So this is, like you said, it's a very important conversation. Absolutely,
Yeah.
brother. Definitely agree.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of your filmmaking distribution, how hard is to get your film distributed? What challenges have you come, you know, up with that, if any?
So Change actually got distribution. On the independent, IMDb has their own thing where they're just like they have a distribution thing for short films. So we actually got into their first short film competition, or their festival, the first festival they had. We got honorable mention for Change, and so they turned around and invited us. Say, hey, we have a distribution thing we're starting up. If you want to be a part of it, let us know. It's not a lot of money at first, but eventually it will be. But you know, you'll get yourself out there. So we jumped on that. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Ground floor.
Um, yeah. So with the other film, with the leg up, we haven't really done a distribution deal yet. We're actually still just kind of putting it in festivals because it's so relevant right now.
Mm.
Uh, and we're just getting it more and more. And like, Toronto's been all over it. Like we did a festival in Toronto, and they gave us 3 awards for it. And you know, Christopher Smith, who played the son, he actually got his first award there for that film.
Awesome.
And I won Best Director, which I'm very
Yeah,
thrilled about,
you know what I'm saying? That's
bro.
what's up, man. Congratulations.
And we actually got a little press. Film Daily in Toronto actually covered us and said a leg up is a must see film.
Wow.
So that was up, man. It's mind blowing and humbling and all that stuff, man. And so that's still happening. I mean, I'm not really worried about that as far as distribution. I want more awards. You know
That's
what I'm
like
saying?
2 years, right? That's like 2 years
Yeah,
now, right? Wow.
yeah, man. Well, yeah, 3. We put it out at 17. So,
3 years and
but
still growing strong, man. That's
but the thing about it is like it's like we were talking about earlier. You know, the importance of the film. That's more important to me than anything. You know, for somebody to see that film and be like, "Yo, that changed my life," or you know, I was thinking about going in this direction, but now I'm going in that direction. You
yeah.
know, that's the reward, bro. You
And
know,
that's what makes you
and
successful.
that's why we make our films. We want to like, you know, you already know.
I want to infect the world, man. I want to make
Yeah,
a change. I want you, and that's I always tell people this. When you finish reading or seeing something I created, I want you affected. I want you
right.
affected in a way where you say, I need to do something. And that's it. That's all we can hope for as artists, you know what I'm saying? And whatever decision you hope they make a decision that's beneficial, but as an artist, that's all you can hope for, man, is to say,
Yeah,
is to have that person say, wow.
yeah,
Oh, and then 3 days from the wow. And then actually take the steps, you know what I'm saying, to make some kind of change in their life. That's all you can ask for. That's all you
right,
can. I,
right.
I asked about distribution because there's a sister. Have you heard of Quayle TV?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot you the link, man. Quayle
Okay,
TV. Um, this is a sister named Deshauna Spencer. She's on Instagram. She's on Twitter. Deshauna
okay.
Spencer. And Quayle is spelled Kweli TV.
Like Talib.
Like Talib. Yep, spelled the
Got
same way. Okay.
you. Okay,
Quayle TV. And it's a Netflix for the diaspora, brother.
okay.
And the sister that run it is open as a door, man. So if you tell her about a leg up, She will put you on that platform, brother. And she has
Okay.
award-winning shorts on there. It's $6 a month. A subscription is $6 a month. Okay. So you can't beat that. Or it's like $20 a year or something like that. So, and you're exposed to thousands of films
Okay.
only created by from around the globe,
Gotcha.
not just in America.
Okay.
I could see
Yeah.
films from Uganda. I watched a film from Uganda yesterday that was incredible. It was a little 6-minute like superhero type film from Uganda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the storytelling is out of this world. So
That's dope.
it's so
That's
beautiful.
dope.
So yeah, I'm just suggesting that to you. Check her platform out, man. And I think
Okay.
that she puts and the more awards you have and more accolades you got, that just make you look better, man. And she'll definitely put you on the platform because there's nothing but award-winning shorts and mini features and features on there. So
Okay.
from the diaspora. So yeah, check her out. I'll send you the link, man, and hook up
Oh,
with
oh
her.
yeah. Please do.
She's
Please do.
just dope, man. Quality TV. We need that. That's a platform outside of BET, outside of the Black Family Channel, outside of these other platforms that we're on. It's more for
Yeah.
independence. So you
Yeah.
have the On channel is for independence. Quality TV is for Black independence, and there's other platforms that are springing up. You know what I'm saying? So maybe,
Yeah.
hopefully, I can grow this platform, into something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
But the fact is international. That's huge, man.
brother, international.
That's up my alley right there.
Yes, and I know it. That's why I brought it to you because especially with a leg up, man, it's powerful, and that's 3 years of going strong on a circuit.
Yeah.
Like, it's you don't hear, very few films do that. They die out after the first circuit, or the second, without the appropriate attention. So the
Yeah.
fact that it's still ringing, you know, and your film is international. Canada is international, so it's
Yeah.
okay. Here we go. So
And it did Eco International, which is in Lagos, Nigeria. We did that. We did the UK, uh,
so you're already over
Birmingham
there.
Film Festival. So
You're already over there.
yeah,
You're already over
but that quality TV, that sounds like the move, bro.
Absolutely.
That sounds like the move.
Man, I give it to everybody that I even have even just the shreddest amount of respect for, and I got a ton of respect for you. So
Oh, I appreciate that.
I
Same here, brother.
wouldn't tell you if it wasn't real, man.
Yeah.
For all you filmmakers out there that rocking like my brother right here, Quelly TV is definitely an outlet for us. I'm only plugging it like that because I'm an ambassador for the brand.
That's what's up.
So I'm actually able to do I would be able to, with your permission from you, work through with the sister. Like if I wanted to do a showing or a viewing of content, I can do that from Quayle TV. I would have access to the entire library, which is
Gotcha.
free. And if I wanted you just to show your film, I would reach out to you and say, hey man, I really want to show your film. I'm an ambassador for Quayle, blah blah blah, Mosaic Entertainment Group. Would you be willing to come out and speak to my audience after? Because that's part of the showing. If we can get one of the filmmakers to come out and do a Q&A session with the audience after their film as well. So that was COVID now, but that was something that I was working on as well, to not only expand my brand but to help the sister expand her brand and also expand your brand as a filmmaker. So that's something that I'm gonna keep working with the sister until this COVID thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm definitely coming back out there, man. So
Man, yo, I got
got to get back out there.
some ideas, and we'll talk offline about one idea that I have, man.
Right.
That's amazing, and that's something that we can actually collaborate on together. It kind of popped in my head this morning, so we'll talk about that.
Okay.
All right, my brother. So we're coming up short. We're coming up on time. So if you can, please let the audience know once again where they can find you, where they can follow you, which film circuits you working on, the whole nine, man. Just let my audience know as we close out.
So I'm on yeah, I had a brain freeze.
I threw it out.
Instagram, Instagram of Joe Jennings Jr. One word. LinkedIn. I'm on Joe Jennings Jr. What else am I on? I think I got. Oh, check out my YouTube channel. Blinded by Ambition.
Yes,
That's my YouTube channel. If you want to see a leg up or change, they are both available on that website for the time being. Yeah, just check us out, man.
absolutely, man. So thanks again, Mr. Joe Jennings Jr. for showing up on the
Appreciate you, Jermaine.
your time, my brother, man, from the Mosaic Entertainment Group platform. I really appreciate you. Appreciate you
Same here.
on the Sunday, man. And it's much
Thank you for having me, bro.
absolutely. And we're definitely going to collaborate on future projects. Family, please hit that like and share button. You want to check out my brother's films, man. Leg Up is a powerful, powerful, powerful movie. It's been on the circuit for 3 years now. The film circuit is still going strong. So you might want to check that out, family. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to this most recent episode of the Mosaic Entertainment Group podcast, talk show, whatever you want to call it. Mr. Joe Jennings Jr., I appreciate you for showing up, my brother, and giving me your time. Really appreciate
Thank you,
it.
fam.
All right. Now, you have a great day, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day, and let's link real soon, all right?
You too.
All
All
right,
right, brother.
all right, brother. Hold on to the end.